GetsuFumaDen, my fair review. Potential to be one of the best roguelikes, bad sales during early access, and Konami just scrapped the final product and released a solid roguelike. Instead of working on it for at least one more year and produce the perfect version, but no, no money, no play. So, let me give a straight answer to Konami why there is no money for a solid roguelike that's most similar to Dead Cells and why Dead Cells got money and Konami didn't. Konami, what on earth is that thumbnail for the game? I can't even read what it says. Who on earth directed the art style for a game? Do you realize how messy it is? Who will click and play something that looks like that? And on top of it all, 99% of the world will have trouble to read GetsuFumaDen. What kind of name is that? Change main picture, change that stupid title, do some advertising and you'll sell better for sure. Your advertising team and the entire marketing team are straight brain dead. With all that aside, let's go to sections and rate GetsuFumaDen properly as it deserves. First section is the story. I really don't get it with the story at all. Bad cutscenes, bad narration, bad descriptions. Even if there is a story of why you are resurrecting and killing abominations, I just couldn't figure it out. This is not how you present the story, especially to western part of the world. Not all of us are familiar with your mythic lore. I know a bit about it because I played Nioh and similar games, and I still got zero understanding for GetsuFumaDen's story. 2 out of 10 for the story. Next section is game bugs and optimization. No bugs, no glitches, no crashes. The game is optimized well with fast loading screens and it's not system demanding at all. For a new release, it's actually great. 10 out of 10. Next section is game time. I spent around 7 hours in the game so far and I finished it twice just to realize that I'm supposed to farm for 100 hours to see the actual progress. Achievements also say a lot about it. Same bosses, same enemies, same maps for 100 hours straight to see freaking progress and that secret final boss. Are you freaking crazy, Konami? You realize that people have lives, wives, jobs, kids. Who on freaking earth will play the same thing for 100 hours in a 2.5D to grind for a key or a weapon upgrade? I know it's roguelike and you're supposed to grind a little, but you went over the top with grinding. I wanna sit down and finish this game in less than 20 hours, cause repetition kills me. And even if I had fun in those 7 hours like I did, I would probably start hating the game after 20 hours, so it's better to stop and conserve a good memory of the game. For maniacs, there is value for money in this game. Not for me though. 5 out of 10 for game time. Next section is game difficulty. I see no real challenge, cause hey, someone in Konami locked the harder difficulties and they expect you to play for 50 hours to actually see some challenge. I had 3 successful runs in 7 hours, killed almost all bosses in the game on the first attempt, and the only time I ended up dead was during my first 2 runs while I was learning game mechanics and how to conserve health and what to upgrade first. Once I sorted that out, the game became extremely easy. I'm sorry, but I want a hard game from the start. I'm not wasting my life to play on easy mod, apprentice and commoner, whatever the hell they're calling those mods here, and grind it to unlock harder mods. Terrible, terrible game design. 5 out of 10 for game difficulty. Next section is maps and graphics. This is 2.5D action roguelike. So, maps variety is solid. I seen 8 different maps in 7 hours. As far as I figured out, there should be 11 different maps, cause there were some locked portals. Graphics are solid for 2.5D and you can clearly spot enemies while everything is flashing around you. Minimap is there for easier backtracking and navigation. It's done well and you'll never get lost. UI will be a bit confusing to new players, but I leave that topic for leveling section. Design of UI is very good and crystal clear once you learn how it works. Overall, this is a good looking game with a terrible art style, so 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section, and the most important one, is gameplay. The easiest way for me to describe this game is to say that it's most similar to Dead Cells, but it does everything worse than Dead Cells. A combination of Nioh and Dead Cells in 2.5D. AI is worse, movement is clunkier, it has slower pace, more grinding, worse enemies, atrocious bosses. If you are really hungry for a roguelike, you'll have some fun for a few hours, but very soon you'll realize that there are far better roguelikes with far better hitboxes like Dark Devotion or Dead Cells on the market. 6 out of 10 for gameplay. Next section is leveling and itemization. Confusing leveling system with weapon upgrades, main character upgrades, and it will take some time for you to get used to it. I learned from my mistakes after 2 hours in the game, and after that it was a stump. So, in short, you level up your main weapon, your main skill, your sub-weapons or your sub-skills, with addition of classic race health upgrades and grind recipes to upgrade weapons even further. So, in short, it's like when you combine Nioh leveling system with Dead Cells, and that's how it feels like. Now, aside from that, items that you'll find along the way are materials and recipes to upgrade your weapons that will transfer to next run once you finish the one you're playing, reach the endgame boss and kill him, or you end up dead along the way. It feels good to grab those upgrades, but god damn it, the amount of grind required to get them is just straight brain dead. 5 out of 10 for leveling and itemization. Next section is NPCs and enemies. No NPCs in the game, no lore, no story, a few tablets with some shitty text during runs and that's it. Oh yeah, the final boss always turns his back from you and mumbles same freaking words and tells you to find him again. Funny. Enemies are cool, their design is quite good, AI is questionable though. There is a solid amount of enemies variety in the game. Bosses, well, here comes the shitty part. They're all brain dead. Every freaking boss in the game is gigantic with disgusting hitboxes, and it gets even worse. They also have, how do I put it, atrocious hitboxes, and when I say atrocious, I mean it. It could be one of the worst done hitboxes for bosses in 2.5D I've seen in my life, and I played thousands of different games. You can't figure out their patterns, moves, what will happen, when will they hit you, where will they hit on a map, and when you roll on time, you still gonna receive damage. Just bad, and that's it. 3 out of 10. Last section is music and sound. Let me put it like this, I had a lot of laugh while I was playing because of the music. While in the main hub, traditional Japanese music is playing, relaxing, and it fits the game and its design. Then, hilarious things happen. You enter the shop and here comes Bob Marley playing his marijuana tunes. It gets even funnier. Boss fight starts, and here we go with doom-like heavy metal tunes. So, 3 different genres of music are presented, and only one of them fits the game style. Having a good laugh doesn't mean I'll give a good score, by the way. Sound effects are solid, voice acting is non-existent. 5 out of 10 for music and sound. Final verdict. We got 9 sections with 49 points. And that would be 5.4 out of 10 for GetsuFumaDen, barely above mediocre roguelike. This game suffers from identity issues, identity crisis. It doesn't know what it wants to be, and it's proved by atrocious art style, lack of story, and hilarious music. To top it all off, it feels rushed also. There was potential for a solid roguelike, but Konami did the bad marketing during early access and they ended up with no money from GetsuFumaDen. Is the game worth playing and buying? It's worth playing for a day or two, 6 to 20 hours tops. I would wait for the price to drop to $5 and give it a shot. Right now the price is hilarious, $25. It's not a bad game, but it's far away from being good too. Devs around the world could learn from GetsuFumaDen. It is the perfect example that you should make the games for the entire world, not only for the region you are in. If you don't get it, check Dead Cells, check Elden Ring, check Doom, check Dark Devotion. They are valid worldwide, while this game might only be liked and be valid from the country it came from. Simple as that. I'll thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.